Hi! Did you buy the merch yet? I don't even know if this is still available when this video comes out, but still gonna put the promotion in there just in case. But if not, fucking take off this super fucking soft, amazing piece of merchandise that just fits oh so perfectly and just hugs me like a fucking cloud. All right. So, I thought it'd be fun to do a tier list of the comedians that I have personally watched. Now, I don't mean Netflix specials. I don't mean on Salmon, Joe Rogan. I mean, I paid real cold hard cash to sit in their audience and experience them live. It has not been a lot, but I think it's been enough to at least fucking babble about for a bit. And I'm very excited also because I want to see more. And I plan on seeing more. And I'm missing some of the goats in here that are still currently touring. So hopefully I can get them in here as well. Quick, really fun disclaimer. If you don't like some of the comedians that I talk about or that I paid money to go see, that's fine. You don't gotta talk about it. You can just keep that cute little opinion yourself. I'm just telling you my experiences, and who knows, maybe you'll be motivated to go check one of them out once I'm done talking about them. This shirt needs to be ironed. Not the point. So this is the way the tier list is going, right? So we have Take My Money at the top. That means I would buy them every single time they're on tour. Anytime they're on tour, I would go see their new set. Hands down. Wouldn't even hesitate. Tears. I was most likely in tears watching them. I might not buy every tour, but man, that was a good fucking comic right there. Funny means they were funny. It was a good time. There were some hee-hees, there were some ha-has, there were some lulls. It was fine. It ended up being a cool night. Bathroom break means I could probably leave right now and I probably won't miss anything. I'm drinking, I'm watching comedy. Some people are laughing. It seems to be a moderately good time. Boycott means get off stage. I'm mad I paid for this. We're gonna start with the least problematic of the bunch. I saw Dave Chappelle a while ago, like a really long time ago. I saw Dave Chappelle. He's probably one of the first stand-up comics I watched on a DVD. I remember my family purchased his DVD from like Blockbuster, and we watched Killing Him Softly when I was like 12 or some shit. I don't remember how old I was. This is not heavy. Oh, because the sweater. Because the heavy, durable quality of my brand new merch is weighing down the mic stand. That's why it's going down. Any other lighter, shittier sweater just wouldn't do that. This one's just quality shit. Available now in viz.tv/chapter1. Maybe not available. I honestly don't know. It's a limited time, so this could go either way. Anyway, I saw he was touring again. You know, I had been a really big fan of him up to that point, obviously, and I gotten tickets, and I saw him right at the start of quarantine, I believe, that I saw Dave live. We had to wear masks. I remember that. I think that was like right before like tours and all that shit was a fucking wrap. Like literally right before everything went in the shitter. And it was like, oh no, we actually can't do anything. I don't remember. I just remember a lot of COVID jokes in the sets when it was like still really fresh and really we didn't really know what the fuck it was. Dave had a good show. I feel like you might get a new show every time you go see Dave because he's just a storyteller. You know, unless he's filming like a special or something, he just seemed like he was there and he just wanted to talk to fucking the crowd for a little bit. And that's what he did. And he's funny while doing it, of course. But if I was being very objective and putting my bias to the side, I don't even remember really being in tears seeing Dave, if I'm being honest. And like I said, I think everyone's going to have a different experience with him. I would say Dave was just funny the time I went to go see him. He made a lot of jokes about COVID, and then he told a big, long story to finish off his set, and he had like funny little stuff in between. But I don't really have this like real memorable thing where I was like, man, that guy was fucking hilarious. So for my experience, I'm gonna put him in funny. I'm gonna go to John Mulaney now. John Mulaney is the one that I've seen the most recently. There was a period where I was kind of like trying to hit my white whales in terms of performers, right? Because I was like, okay, well, I used to really like these guys back in the day. Like I remember when I was like first setting up my YouTube stuff. This is a fucking while ago. This was like near a decade ago. I would be listening to John Mulaney clips and I was like, this guy's fucking funny, man. And now I'm trying to go watch those people live that I've just never had the chance to. So I saw John recently. He's out of rehab now, and a good portion of his current set was dedicated to him talking about his struggle and rehab and getting out of rehab. I wasn't sure what to expect. He talked about like having a different persona now, like post rehab, at least on stage. I don't know if I was going to be let down because I was going to be expecting this John Mulaney, but then I got this John Mulaney. I also drove 3 hours forced to go fucking see him. So I was making kind of a sacrifice here to go check him out. So if I was gonna be let down, I mean, this was gonna be the fucking person to do it. But no, he had a great show. I enjoyed it very much. I thought it was funny. I thought it was inclusive with the audience. I thought he had a nice balance of material. It wasn't like just fucking rehab shit. He still had just other random stories. It's obviously like those really bizarre stories, but he has a way of really working around them to where it's just like, I'm not just being bizarre to be quirky and funny. He handles it with a certain amount of care, and then he can really exemplify a goofy situation. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but he did a very good job. So I'd put John in tears. I don't know if I would buy every fucking John Mulaney tour, TBH, but he did a good job. I've only seen him once. It was a really good show. I am curious to see where he goes from here though now. Like once that rehab bit gets taken out, will he be able to fill that gap effectively? I feel like he will, but for now I'm gonna put him in tears because I did laugh a lot. Ali Wong. So, first heard about Ali from her Netflix special, which I'm sure a lot of people did, and decided to see her on tour after that. I'm gonna put Ali at funny. Ali is funny. She's very engaging on stage. She's very expressive on stage. A lot of it comes from her face. She definitely had some shining moments in her stand-up. There was one joke I remember specifically where tears were flowing from my face, right while I threw my head down, and then tears were coming down as I came back up, because it was fucking hashtag relatable. She was calling out guys, and she kind of just got me down to a T, and I was like, fuck, how does she know that? That's hilarious. I would totally go to another Ali Wong show, but I would put her at funny, and I would put her behind Div. All right. Bill Burr. You may notice Bill is also on the list again. That's because I'm counting them if I've seen him more than once. I've seen Bill twice. I'll talk about the first time I've seen Bill. The first time I saw Bill, I'm gonna be honest, and this might offend some people. He is fucking hilarious. I'm gonna relive some of these right now, but that might have been the best comedy show I've ever been to. I saw him in Wisconsin, and man, I could not big him up enough after that fucking show, because it was so funny. I think it was part of his most recent special that is currently on Netflix. Some of the material that was on that, I haven't even really watched it, but I saw clips circulate, and some of the material I heard in the special was some of the material he used during that part of the tour. He also just talks about whatever the fuck he wants, right? He talked about Wisconsin-related things for what seemed like a hefty portion of time. He made fun of Wisconsin so much, and I'm not like a fanboy of Wisconsin like that. I used to live there, so I was able to understand the humor and the relatability. So it was just this perfect like combination of like, this is the funniest fucking thing ever. He called Wisconsin racist for like 20 minutes straight. He kept just throwing like random jabs in there, and it was the best. It was the best. By the end of the show, literally my bladder was pulsating. My bladder was raising its hand so it can say, can I excuse myself? But I was not willing to miss a second, 1 second of that man saying a word. Even if I was in pain, I couldn't laugh by the end of the show. I literally couldn't, because like I literally had to piss so fucking bad. Like I was genuinely in pain. As soon as he said, you guys have been great, fucking, I was up. I was up and getting the fuck out of there. But I would not miss a word that man said. I will buy Bill Burr tickets every time. And it's sad because I think he's hinted at retirement. I don't know how soon that might be, but if you have the chance, go watch Bill. If you don't like Bill, then obviously don't fucking go watch him. But if you already like Bill just on YouTube or comedy specials you've seen, go watch Bill. Great. Gabriel Iglesias. Let me think for a second. So I have a story with Gabriel. I saw Gabriel in a smaller venue, which honestly I feel like are the best, to be honest, to go watch somebody. It was a small venue and he was late. Gabriel Iglesias was late. Like the fucking lazy sack of shit he is. He showed up late because Chicago traffic sucks ass, so it's not really his fault. I just remember sitting down there being like, where the fuck is he? Like the openers went up already and then there was still a gap and I was like, hello? All of a sudden the doors from like the balcony where like people aren't allowed open up and you see Gabriel, he's hard to miss, and he takes the mic from like the DJ and he's like, Chicago, your traffic sucks. Something like that. He starts doing his show. The best part about it is that afterwards he was like, hey, I feel bad. I showed up late. You know, I'm down to chill with you guys for longer. You know, like if you guys want to like ask some questions. So like he stayed so so much extra time and had like a Q&A with the crowd because he was late. He ended up being on stage, no joke, for like 3 hours because he had his normal set, and then at one point he just like told us, he was like, okay, so none of this is my actual set, so if you're gonna judge me for the prepared set I did. Now I'm just talking to you guys, answering random questions from the crowd, telling random stories. I asked him a question. In hindsight, I could have asked him a better question, but I was panicked. I didn't know what to do. I asked him if he ever had beef with another comedian, which he's not gonna fucking answer that, so I'm stupid to ask that, but he just kind of sidestepped it, and he was like, no, I don't think so. He's like, sometimes people, and then I was like, all right, you sly political dog. No, that was really nice of him. He totally did not need to do that. He could have just performed, fucked off, and I still don't think he would have left like a nasty taste in most people's mouth. There was one time he cheers me. Not personally, but he made a really funny joke, and I was just kind of like, instead of giving him like the nod, like that was hilarious, I was like, yo, it's my fucking guy. He looked at me directly in the eyes, and he was like, yeah, cheers, bro. And I was like, he said that to me. That was to me. He's so bad. But yeah, comedy. What did I think about it? I remember laughing a lot for sure. Probably more than Chappelle, I would say. I think I'm popping in tears. I might be getting one over just because of the little extra effort he put in there. I don't think I laughed more than John. But then again, like, these are very spaced out over years, so I think I'll put him behind John for now. But I did very much enjoy his show, and I would love to go to another Gabriel show as well. Donnell Rawlings, so this is kind of the part where I'm going to miss some comedians because there's obviously a lot of openers. Sometimes there's openers you don't know. Sometimes there's openers you do know. Sometimes there's openers you don't know that do a very good job, and I wish I could give them a shout out in this video, but I don't remember their names. I want to say one of the openers I saw once was Sheng Wang, who actually just came out with a Netflix special, and I think he was very funny, but I feel like I might be just making that up in my head too, so don't completely believe me on that, but I wish I remember the name of all the openers I saw, because there's been some really funny openers that I've come across. But Donnell was opening for Dave. I like Donnell in interviews. I think Donnell's great. He's got this funny energy to him, and that's kind of what he was on stage. I don't really remember him having material, but I remember him just joking about COVID and yelling and then making fun of a guy in the crowd. But other than that, it wasn't as memorable. Obviously, he was the opener. He didn't fucking have an hour of material, but I wish I could see more of Donnell, personally. So I am gonna disrespectfully put him in bathroom break. If my bladder was already starting to move, I would definitely piss while Donnell was on stage to see Dave without a bathroom break. I'm gonna disrespect him a little bit, put him in the bathroom break. I do want to see more of Donnell. Dion Cole. Dion, see, this is what I'm talking about, where I used to watch just like a shit ton of stand-up comedy on YouTube. Dion is old school YouTube comedy. He's big now, but I remember seeing some of his like really shitty quality on stage, and I remember just being like, this is the most random dude ever, and these are funny jokes. And then I ended up seeing his name that he was gonna be performing at a venue nearby, and his tickets were really cheap because, he wasn't as big as he is now. But regardless, I wanted to go see Dion Cole. Dion has a very specific way about himself and the way he performs jokes. He's got this like swagger to him.
I got a bad habit I gotta stop. After sex, I really gotta stop saying, well. That's the end of the joke right there.
He even repeated some jokes that I've heard in the past, but like I didn't care because that was just a fun time. I think Dion had me, I want to say, in tears. Yeah, I want to say Dion. Hold on, you would. Can I not adjust? Oh, I thought I could adjust. They go in there by the order, or is that what this does? No, that fucking did nothing. Ah! Stop it! No, you fucked this up. No, wait, what? You stop it now. Is this the way I had it? Wait, why can I move these, but I can't move Dion? Is that the way I wanted it? No. Wait, no, this isn't correct. What the fuck? Okay, I really hope this is the way I had it. Is this the way I had it? I think this is the way I had it. Okay, so I would put Dion in tears. I really enjoyed Dion's set. This one's pretty old too, so it's a little hazy, but I remember a lot of slapping on the table, a lot of being like, son of a bitch. They're gonna slam on my Corona. This guy's good. No, I had a great time watching Dion, and I would love to watch Dion again. Joe Coy. Joe Coy has this energy to him. Joe seems like the friendliest dude possible. Like, he's just that really funny family member talking to everyone at the cookout. Very engaging with the audience. He's obviously got so many stories as well. He's a big storyteller too. I think at one point he had the DJ playing 90s hits and had the crowd singing along, and then he talked shit about the crowd before. Like, I think he was just schmoozing us a little bit, kind of like, maybe he said this same thing about To the Last Crowd? Where it was like, yo, that last crowd didn't know any of these songs, so you guys are fucking it. We were like, yeah, we are, Joe. We're fucking sick, dude. You didn't know about what we came here to do? We probably said it to the last crowd, dude. And you were like, yeah, dude, that last crowd sucked. And they're like, ooh, stop, Joe. You're so bad.
Do you come with a car?
Oh, you.
Do you come with the car?
Oh, you.
I remember Joe being very funny. I think I would, oh man, am I disrespecting Joe right? I feel like I'm disrespecting the shit out of Joe right now. I wish some of these were more recent, because these are from a while ago. But I do remember very much enjoying the show. Fuck! I think I'm gonna put him at the top of funny. I think I like Dion's show more than Joe. Or maybe I had more expectations from Joe because he was Joe Coy at the time, and Dion was just Dion Cole. Like to me, like just this YouTube comedian. He's not a YouTube comedian, but that's where I knew him from. Yeah, I think kind of in the same way Gabriel is. I think Joe's just very like a charming person, but I'm more so just trying to go off like laughs. I don't know if I'm not trying to go like experience really. I'm taking it into account, but I don't want to let it bias myself too much, because if that's the case, I put fucking Gabriel in the Bill Burr part because he fucking ran a 3-hour show for us and took questions. That's sick. That's the way I'm keeping it. So the reason Keem Batch is on here is not because I paid for a Keem Batch show, but he was the opener for Joe Coy when I went to go watch him. This is how old the fucking show was, by the way. I think it was when Vine was still popping.
Oh, you good, man?
I think I've told this story multiple times already, but I was waiting in line for the meet and greet to go meet Joe. Batch was there too. It was a long table, and the first person was Batch, and then it was another opener, and then it was Joe. I'm in there, and I'm watching people go to the meet and greet. Almost everyone is skipping Batch. I wasn't like a huge Keem Batch fan. I also wasn't a Keem Batch hater at the time also. This was Vine era, right? I know we can look back now and be like, what the fuck? What were you doing, Batch?
What the dog doing?
But I did have a certain respect for Batch because this was when he was starting to branch out into other things, and it's always just kind of cool to see someone go from social media, YouTube, to mainstream shit. But I remember seeing him, and everyone was skipping him. No one was saying what's up to him, and I think because it was an older crowd, they weren't really like, that's the Viner. They were just like, no, that was the opener. We don't give a fuck. Like, he was like fucking around on a hoverboard, I think because he was kind of bored. The audience was cheering him on for that because he was like doing circles and shit. This is once again shows how old the show was. The hoverboard came out, beware. But I was kind of salty about it because he left, and I was close to going up, and I kind of did want to meet him and tell him to his face, like, hey, I think it's really cool what you've done. I don't know if it was because he had to get prepped for the next show already because he was going to be the opener, or because like no one was saying what's up to him, or like a little bit of both. I don't know. We may never know, but I didn't meet Keem Batch. But he did open up for him. Once again, this is an old show. I think Keem Batch still does stand-up comedy. Probably could have hit him with a bathroom break on that one. Behind Donnell. I think it was just okay. Pretty sure he was very new to it. In fact, I'm sure he was very new to it. Everyone, takes a little bit of time to really get into their groove. So no disrespect to that man, but I will put him there. I remember just being like, he's okay. That's what I would expect if like you showed me one of Keem Batch's vines and being like, and now here's him talking for 10 minutes. Okay. Like, I also feel like at that point he was trying to just stretch out his Vine comedy into stand-up comedy, and that just wasn't working out. I digress. Andrew Schulz. I've been a fan of Andrew for a minute. I've known Andrew since early Brilliant Idiots days when he was doing that with Charlemagne, which he still is doing that with Charlemagne, but crazy to see where the fuck he is now. But I remember listening to him when he was like talking about doing stand-up, and I was like, who gives a fuck? And then he started talking about how, I should start putting out clips. Like, people are putting out clips, that's a thing, and like people are selling tickets because of that. I've seen him from his like small social media comic journey where he like started putting out a clip a week, and that's where I got introduced to stand-up comedy too, because I used to think he was really funny on the pod, but I never actually saw any of his stand-up, and then I started seeing that, and I was like, dude, this dude's fucking great. In fact, proof. You can see it. Gender inequality isn't all that bad. Posted this 4 years ago. My comment is there from 4 years ago, so I'm not fucking lying to you. But even before that, I was listening. So it was just kind of cool to see. It's a great concept, by the way. Very offensive, but hilarious. I decided to go see him, and this was right around when he first started his Flagrant 2 podcast, which is now just Flagrant, if you know. First started as a sports podcast. He was touring in Chicago. I went to go watch him. He had a little bit of material, but he mostly told a story about how someone he was working with got into some trouble when they were in Europe. because he was hinting at the story on the podcast, but he couldn't tell it on the podcast, I guess because of legal reasons or some shit. But on stage, he was like, I don't give a fuck. No one's listening to this, so we're just going to do it here. A super small venue, which I loved. You don't want to say tears, though. I think I'd put him right there. Been in the game for so long, but like, yeah, I mean, I'm just going off what I saw. But yeah, I put Andrew there. Bill. I saw Bill again. This was the second time watching Bill, and I will fault me to a certain point here. I'm going to put him at the top of funny. Actually, I'm going to put him at the back of tears. Actually, this is how fucking good Bill is. Let me tell you this. At an hour show, right? I fell asleep during the show. I've been drinking a bit all day. I hadn't gotten the best sleep either, you know? So those things combined, halfway into the show, I clonked out. Like, clonked out. Where I was just like, head bobbing, and like, I woke up and being like, yo, I can't be missing Bill's show. What am I doing right now? But this is how fucking good Bill is. I only saw half of his show, and that shit was hilarious. That was so good. Didn't repeat one fucking joke I've heard before. He was just talking to his environment, talking to the crowd he currently was in. For the time I was awake, tears in my eye. And no, it wasn't because I was drunk. It's because he's funny. So I'm still gonna put him at the back of tears for the second show that I fell asleep halfway during. That's how fucking good Bill is. All right? I will not stop sucking his dick throughout this tier list. Last one, Andrew Schulz. I saw him a second time. This is when he was starting to kind of like build up some steam as a stand-up comic. So this was a bigger venue. Let's fucking go, Andrew. Very funny. He was being Andrew. I'm gonna put him at the... Yeah, I'm gonna put him at the back end of tiers. Yes, behind Bill Burr's half-hour special. Yeah, I remember having a good time there. He was like in his fucking groove. He made a lot of Epstein jokes. And his, yeah, he was just doing his typical Andrew thing, but it was a good time. The crowd was in it. I think the crowd helps a lot. When the crowd's in it, man. When then you have some jackass who's talking during the whole show, that kind of fucking ruins my experience. That's how fucking good Bill is. Some dickwad, the first time I watched him, was right behind me, and he kept responding to every punchline Bill had as if he was talking to Bill, which he was not. You are in the 7th row, sir. He doesn't see you. There's a spotlight in his face. Bill would be like, yeah, and that's why they fucking grab beers and stuff like that, like making fun of Wisconsin. He'd be like, yeah, I mean, we forgot about our guns too. Some shit. He was like taking pride in Bill's jokes, so he kept adding on to them. But he was like enjoying them, but also being like, yeah, ain't that the truth? And I was like, please shut the fuck up, sir. And he would also drink very loudly, just slobbing on a cockarooski. But that's how good Bill is. It was still at the top of the fucking thing. He was the only person to go S tier, take my money, and some dickwad was talking like half the show. Need I say more? No. So there's my very small tier list of stand-up comedians that I've seen live. I need to see Kevin Hart live. I just need to, regardless of whatever you think the trajectory of his stand-up specials have been. You gotta see him. He's one of the GOATs. There's no denying it. I gotta see Kevin live. I want to see Kevin live. I'm planning to see Kevin live. I want to see like a lot of like comics that I've seen like on TikTok too, like Jamie Wolf, checking in every now and then to see what tickets are available, who's touring, what's going on. I also really want to see Ronnie Chang. Not his most recent special. I was fine with it, but the special before that I thought was like the funniest fucking shit ever. So I would love to see him live. Oh, you know what? Speaking of fucking comedians I've seen, I saw Aziz Ansari. He should be on this list. I apologize, Aziz. This was a long time ago. He might have been the first stand-up comedian I've watched high key. Maybe. I don't know. I saw him in college. They were giving away free tickets to his show because I guess he was just like had to deal with our college or some shit. That was actually really fucking funny. I'll put Aziz behind Andrew Schulz on tiers, I think. Sorry, Aziz. I forgot that you were doing a thing. Other than that, I've just seen like a bunch of like rando comics that you wouldn't even know who the fuck they are, so it doesn't matter if I put them on the list or not. But yeah, that's the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Who have you seen live? Who would you recommend? Who are your some of underrated comics, huh? Let me know in the comments below. And if my merch is still available at invis.tv/chapter1, that'd be kind of dope if you cop some. It's really soft, I promise you that. But yeah, thanks for watching. My name is Mr. GG. Like, comment, subscribe, and I am out.